For the second night in a row, youths stoned police and fire crews, looted and set fire to shops and hurled petrol bombs. Officers in riot gear were involved in running battles with gangs roaming the streets of the Hartcliffe estate.
This is all nice and modern now. What used to be, there was 2 rows of shops here, the real centre point of, because there was nothing else around here really. This whole estate was built for the population of a small village, but there was nothing there really.
There's a lot more glass here then, so there was a lot more stuff to smash, I guess, and a lot more situations for people to sort of display their anger, I suppose. Yeah. But here you can't do that now.
No,
it's all riot-proofed it, definitely. A lot of shutters, as you can see.
Looking back, it was like social apartheid. As soon as you used to say you were from Hartcliffe, you could basically forget getting a job or going to university or anything like that.
What? You're from Hartcliffe?
You don't put that in, put Lower Dundee or something.
Yeah, a real difference and a real sense of being not isolated but contained. A very strong idea of your identity as somebody from Hartcliffe, even if you didn't look like everybody else. Like I didn't look like everybody else, obviously. But I had a very strong sense of belonging to that group of people who were being put upon, beaten, controlled, managed by the police.
After I left Hartcliffe, we went to North West and we had the police come to our school. And I remember the look of horror on all these left-wing teachers' faces when this cop come in and said, "There's too much paperwork with you kids, it's too much hassle. Half the time we can't do you for nothing because you're too young. But what we will do, though, if we catch you doing anything, we'll take you back to the station. We won't take you into the cell, we'll just take you in the back alley and give you a damn good hiding and beat you up."
I got dropped off, actually. I was quite lucky I didn't get driven off into the middle of nowhere, but I know that lots of people...
They used to do that. They used to drop people off in the middle of nowhere and say, "Well, you're walking back now."
Yeah.
Trouble had started on Thursday when 2 joyriders were killed. The motorbike they'd stolen crashed head-on into an unmarked police car.
The issue of those 2 young men, or those 2 men that were sort of murdered, was the sort of last straw, you know, that was it. So this was like, it was like a perfect storm to ignite what happened, and people were openly saying that they wanted to prove a point, that the people from Hartcliffe were fed up of being forgotten and shat on.
We'd heard about the death of the 2 blokes, so I felt obligated, like a few of us did, to come up here, put our money where our mouth was and join in. By the time I got on Thursday night, it was already kicking off. The cops had taken a bit of a hiding, but there weren't that many cops at that first night. This place was, I think it was on fire by then. By the Friday, this was the centre point again. Everyone was coming down, but this time on the Friday, it was more or less the whole of South Bristol, every troublemaker, everybody who had a beef with the cops. The difference between, say, 86 in St Paul's and 92, the cops were much better equipped. They got all this heavy gear to protect themselves from bricks. But what they can't do is run, and they don't know the area, because they had to bring in lots of reinforcements from South Wales or Devon or Cornwall. So it was hit and run all night. So people were just attacking the cops are trying to get you. You just run off, regroup, more bricks and petrol bombs attacking them, and the cops were just like headless chickens.
I think that people were sort of keen to show people from outside Hartcliffe how angry they felt, and this seemed like a really good spot to express that. And I know that people were sort of inspired by riots in other places, St Paul's and Salford and all those places as riots. This was their opportunity to give us the similar sort of message.
A lot of people were inspired by what was going on in Los Angeles, so a lot of the young kids were shouting out about Rodney King, about fuck the police. It was interesting they were making a connection between, you know, they've got something in common with LA kids because we've got a common enemy. You know, the police in LA are scum, our police are scum. It was very life affirming, it was really inspiring. It was people saying, yeah, we're here, we're not forgotten, we're angry and pissed off, you better take notice of us.
The violence last night lasted for several hours before order could be restored. 10 police officers needed hospital treatment. 1 was knocked unconscious with a brick. Another was shot, hit by a pellet from what's believed to have been an air gun. Many of the rioters were wearing balaclavas and seemed intent on stirring up trouble among others not involved.
I think that the riots sort of gave people a pride, but also a voice, and the idea that they could control things. They rebuilt the school, didn't they? There was a lot of sort of innovation in terms of health and people supporting each other's health. I guess that thing about being listened to and sort of having some sort of control over the way that services are delivered.
So yes, rioting is one of the few tools we've got left, because unions are fucked now. We can't go on strike. Striking's a waste of time. The one power we have got is to get out onto the streets. Rioting is egalitarian, it's people talk to each other and get on the streets, and you think, actually, all these people I thought were, you know, we're all the same. So yeah, rioting should be promoted.